Hi friends, this is Gail O'Neill, and I teach stamping. I hope you enjoy. Hi everybody. So what I wanted to do tonight is show beginners what do you need when you first start stamping. So I want to kind of do a 101. And what I recommend first off is a good cutter. Trimmer, whatever we call this, the Stampin' Trimmer. A good scissor, one that's comfortable in your hand. I tend to use, this is the one Stampin' Up sells. I tend to use this because I have hand issues, and this is easier for me to use than using my thumbs. So you need something that you can cut with. You need some tape. I recommend a sponge. We sell them. I think it comes a package of 3. Blender pen, which you'll see me use tonight. This comes a package of 3. So if you're going to a show with somebody or you want to start stamping with somebody, you can split your sponges. You can split your blender pen. One blender pen will last you a long time. A ruler. Depending on what set you buy, some blocks. Black ink pad. Absolutely black ink pad. And yes, to really get into what a lot of us are stamping with now, it's an expense, but you can go gradual. And if you go back to what Stampin' Up is calling simple stamping, I call it basic stamping, you can manage to stamp a lot of cards. So what else do I recommend is you pick a stamp set, you pick some colors of ink pads, and you need some markers. And what I would say is you pick a set of the markers in the colors. Doing your your card layers. I know a lot of people have trouble. So 5.5 by 4.25 is actually a card base. When it's in half, that's the size. So you'll see me a lot of times, I'm doing 5.25 by, nope, I'm doing 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And then I layer that onto my card because I like that thing. It was always 5.25 by 4. But if you make yourself some cards, and I'll tell you what, it looks like I froze. I hope I'm still going. Let's see. My Wi-Fi went out, so I hope I'm still going on my phone. But anyway, if you want me to make you a set of these, if you're my customer, or, you know, you've ordered from me in the past, I'll be more than happy to make this for you and send it to you. But that's kind of fun to work with. You can also make your small layers that way, and you have something to say, hey, is this going to look good on a card that size? So with that, let's get started. I may be pulling this out. We'll see how, and I might be showing you how to trim something. We'll see how time goes. So you saw the cards that I posted yesterday, hopefully. I'll be showing them again, but here's a set that's coming out in the Occasions catalog, and this is on note cards that come with envelopes. Oh, there I am. It's working again. Okay. So this is stamped just in black. This one, actually, I stamped it cockeyed, so I grabbed a scrap of black and stamped it on a little piece. Always have scraps of white, and re-stamped it there. So it gives that one a little texture. And that's how we used to stamp in the very beginning. And I did have a couple cards, and I don't know where I put them, that I did years ago when I first started. And I'm starting my 21st year now. So this one I'm not going to stamp. It was just wanted to show you. Simple card. So here's a set called Wonderful Romance. Now, this does come with framelits, but you don't have to use the framelits. You can simply stamp it if you don't have a big shot and you don't, you know, want to get into that yet. It's a very pretty set. So here it is, just stamped in black, and you could mount it to a card and send it. It's acceptable. It's handmade. Somebody will love that you sent that to them thinking of you. But let's stamp that again, and I'm going to stamp it in Tranquil Tide, which is a color that will be retiring the next catalog. So let me take that. And you can do this directly on the card, but I haven't gotten that simple except for like the little note cards. I like doing it this way in case I make a mistake. So just stamping that straight down. And then I am going to take, of course I lost it, no, thinking of you. And I'm also going to do that in the same color. Now I'm going to pull out. Now years ago we sold chalks too, so if you have old eye makeup in your closet, you could absolutely take a cotton ball or a Q-tip and some of those little eyeshadows and do some color. But doing this in the Tranquil Tide, I can now take this blender pen, let me just make sure it's clean, and pull some of that color. And I'm going to do it right into those little leaves also. I may not do the, you know, the whole thing. I want you to get the idea of a bunch of different things I want to show you. So I'm going to pull some more of that color here. Blender pen is Stamper's best friend for quick and easy cards. Sometimes color is more of an illusion, yeah. So, and I'll do the rest of these later. You get the idea. So now, if I, let me get that big one and this big one back here. But you see how fast that is? Just to give that little bit of color. So with a blender pen, you just clean it off, and when it runs clear, it's ready to go. And this has my favorite thing, glycerin in it. So now I can take from a different pad, let me see, let me grab one. But I don't have to do anything else to it. But if I wanted to do something to those flowers, with my blender pen, I want to stay light. So if you just have the few basic colors to start with. And I used to love coloring with chalk. It was so fast. Just want to make sure you don't hit too much of that green. So you're not going to go all the way to the edge to add that color. Because it is watercolor, dye inks. Okay, so then I'm going to take I had all my sponges right here. I need the green one. There it is. So I'm going to take a sponge. And I could have mounted it just the way it was, but this is so beginner that I thought it was perfect to do. And then we're going to mount it. And this is about to run out. I have a spare. You want to make sure you're in the right direction. So even a seasoned stamper, you need to make some quick thank you cards or You know, and how do you pick that first set is find one that has a few different sayings. And there's so many different ones, you know, to pick. You can also purchase, oh, you see that red? It's going to get on something. You can also purchase as your second purchase, a set that has different sayings in it. So then you have a birthday, a get well, a thinking of you. You know, you don't have to have everything right away. You add it slowly. So that's that first card. Let's go on to this one. So there's where I'm going to mount it. And this is also a new one coming out, Hummingbird, Humming Along. And I have used it before. So this one I'm going to do with some markers. And I have extra blender pens just in case. So I'm going to take this hummingbird and let me see. I want to do the lighter color first. So you take your brush and I'm going to go here, and I might add some orange to that. Then I'm going to do some red. So I'm going to do the body, and I think I want to go back over the head and do that in red. Okay, I think I'm going to go back and do this part so it really shows up a little better in orange instead of the yellow. And then the little eyeball. And then I'm going to do blue. Wrong end again. I'm going to do some blue for those feathers. So if I didn't have all these colors, and if you have markers that are purple and greens and, you know, whatever you have, as long as they're a water color marker. So then you huff it, and I'm going to stamp it right there. Now I can come back in again with that blender pen, and I can take some of that color and it doesn't have to be a lot. Just giving it a little shading, that's all. And then get some of that red. It's going to turn purple over there. And a little bit of this orange. And if it's not enough, if it dries too fast, you can go right to your marker, or you can scribble it onto one of your blocks and get that color up in there. Let's pull down a little bit more of that red there. It does, oops, that goes to the other. I should know too, that fits on the end. So let me grab a little bit of red and fix that spot. Ooh, dark. Okay. So then I'm going to take, again, the markers. Now in the first card that I did, which I didn't mount and didn't show you, I did it all in one color, which is fine too. But I can take and do one word, and you're using the side, not the tip, so you don't ruin your tip. So I can take one word, whoops, and do it in the blue. And then I can take, I'll do the red on the other words. I'm going to huff on it to wet it and then stamp that down. So now I have those words in 2 colors and ink on my fingers. So now when I add that to the card, and I think I'm going to leave it just like that. I'm not even going to sponge the edges. And the other thing you definitely, I must have said it in the beginning, is you need a good adhesive. So we'll put that down. And it's a fast, easy card. You could make 10 of these. Here was the first one I did. I used a lighter yellow, didn't mount it. But, I mean, they're really pretty. They're really pretty. So, simple works. Okay, so, here's this set, Let It Ride. Let me get rid of all this. So, it's a great, cute set. Lot to do with it. It's now on the floor. So, that's it in black and white. And of course, so here's my piece of paper. So now I'm going to use soft suede. And I'm going to stamp it right there. Put him aside. I'm going to use garden green. And I'm going to stamp there, there, and then not putting it back into the ink, I'm going to stamp it again there. And I can even do it again with a third one. So now it looks like those trees are all back there. This I'm going to need again. Okay, so then I'm going to take the words live as if someone left the gate open. I'm going to stamp that right there. So now back to the sponges, just to bring this a little bit more than that one. Still definitely a bit beginner card. And I'm not using glycerin, and I get scared when I don't. Like, I never want to be too dark. So you kind of have to be very light-handed. And I'm going to add some green here. I'm going to go up into the trees a little bit. Then I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to grab some balmy blue, which needs to be inked. Okay, and I'm very lightly going to add in a little bit of blue. Okay. And I am not even touching the horse again. So now I will take and mount that. So it kind of feels really good to get back to some basic stamping rather than always having to layer and cut, and it's fun. So let me show you a couple other cards. So I did this one today with the cupcake. Now this is a celebration set that you can get absolutely for free with a $50 order. Then you can choose from the Sale-a-bration catalog. And I signed up during a, well, then it was called Sale-a-bration. Sometimes I forget and call it that, but now they call it Sale-a-bration. And they didn't have the deals that they have now. You will see a post on my site tomorrow morning. I scheduled my first post to, I've never scheduled one before. So at 6 o'clock, hopefully it's going to work. It'll be there. But here's some other cards. I will put my hostess code out tomorrow. I am also going to be giving away a few things. I'll post that all tomorrow morning with $50 order, online order. So these are the cards I did the other day. Now, these are also simple cards, not as simple as I did tonight. This one has, let's see, masking involved, but still a very simple card. So this was stamped on a piece of paper, covered up where I stamped them, stamped the background, and just did some sponging. This one was just the straight stamping, but I did it in blue and then colored. This one I also masked this. So still a simple card. I stamped it, masked it, did those two. Don't even have to. I mean, I could have put them just next to it there. And then I did sponging. And I do believe I used glycerin on that one. I just like sponging with it better. And then this one was coloring with straight with the markers. Doesn't have to be, you know, every little bit perfect. I think it's a great card. I didn't do the insides of any. I just wanted to get quite a few done. So watch for my post tomorrow and my specials. So let me bring this all back. Watch for my post tomorrow. My simple stamping. Let's bring it back. Don't be afraid to just stamp. Just stamp. Everybody loves a hand stamp card. So I'll see you again on Sunday. Maybe I'll do some masking. I was going to show you this, but every demonstrator and their mother is putting this out. This is one of our kits, and kits are also a great way to start stamping because the kits have everything you need. This particular one even comes with a case. I left 4 that I didn't stamp, and usually I make alternatives. These are so nice that I didn't feel the need to make alternatives with this kit. So it's also a great way to begin stamping. So yeah, I'll see you on Sunday and watch for my post tomorrow, and thanks for joining me. Good night, everybody. Happy stamping and Happy New Year.